Hello children, welcome to homeschool, and we are with the next part, respiration. So we have completed about the nutrition. We spoke too many aspects about nutrition, isn't it? Discussed nutrition in plants and discussed nutrition in microorganisms as well as nutrition in humans. Okay, so we got to know how our digestive system works, digestive tract, various organs, which organ can do what work, and how is the food consumed can be broken down into smaller pieces, and how the food is getting absorbed, right? Absorbed, and it will get mixed up in the blood, and later it can be passed to various organs of the body, various cells, each and every cell of the body. Fine. And coming to the next topic, respiration. And try to remember, respiration is about studying two things. Okay. So, first aspect that you study under respiration is breakdown of food. Breakdown of food. The moment I say breakdown of food, you would be thinking that it would have happened in digestion. Yes or no? No doubt, breakdown of food happened in digestion. How? Starch molecule broken down into glucose. Yes or no? Protein molecule broken down into amino acid. Fat molecule, big molecule broken down into small particles. Yes or no? So now, imagine a starch has broken down into glucose when you studied during digestion. But here, the food in the sense here, the glucose. Okay, so what is happening to this glucose? This glucose was absorbed by the blood. Blood is taking this glucose to each and every part of the cell. So once this glucose reaches to a cell, each and every cell, what is happening to this glucose? Again, this glucose is breaking down. Okay, so if this glucose can break down in every part of a cell, only then energy can be produced. Okay, so we are going to discuss the breakdown of food to get energy. Here the food in the sense what? Glucose. Okay, so to get energy. So this is what we mainly call it as respiration. Okay, so respiration is all about how a glucose can undergo breakdown to produce energy. Okay, so it will happen in each and every cell that is present inside our system. Okay, so the process of breaking down we are going to study. That is what we mainly call it as respiration. Okay, and we also discuss about the exchange of gases. Exchange of gases. Okay, which is nothing but we call it as breathing. Okay, breathing is a part of respiration. Respiration itself is not breathing. Okay, so what do you mean by breathing? You inhale some gases, that is oxygen. You exhale some gases, you will give out some gas. What is that? Carbon dioxide. Okay, so how is this oxygen taken? How is this carbon dioxide removed? Okay, so taking oxygen, giving carbon dioxide. How is this gases exchange is taking place? This is what we call breathing. You know, breathing is a part of respiration. That's it. Respiration is all about this only. You know, to happen this process, we want oxygen. Okay, glucose can undergo breakage in presence of oxygen. That is the reason we have to take oxygen from atmosphere. Okay, so the moment we take oxygen, you know, this oxygen goes to windpipe, from windpipe to lungs, lungs to blood. Blood will take this oxygen to various cells. In a cell, what is already there? Glucose is there. Who brought that glucose? Blood only. Okay, now to break that glucose, we want oxygen. So who is carrying this oxygen? Again, blood only. Okay, so how is oxygen entering? It is going to windpipe, later to the lungs. Lungs is giving it to blood. Blood will carry all the oxygen and it will give it to the cells. Okay, and now after glucose broken down, energy will be released. Okay, along with the energy, carbon dioxide is the byproduct formed. And that carbon dioxide is a waste material. It should not stay in the body, it should come out. So how is this carbon dioxide coming out? This carbon dioxide goes to blood. Again, blood will give it to lung. Lung will, from the lungs it will come to windpipe, from the windpipe to outside. You see, this is what we call oxygen we have to take because it is very much necessary for this step. Okay, to break a glucose we want oxygen. Without oxygen, glucose doesn't break. If glucose doesn't break, we don't get energy. Okay, so to break glucose, we want oxygen. That's the reason we inhale oxygen. When you inhale, it goes to windpipe. From windpipe to lungs, lungs to blood. Blood will carry oxygen to every cell. After glucose broken down in presence of oxygen, you get energy. And during that process, it's a chemical reaction. Okay, during that process, carbon dioxide is a byproduct that is very dangerous. It should not stay in the body. So carbon dioxide, again, it comes out. It comes to the blood. Blood will bring it to lungs. Lungs to windpipe. Windpipe to outside. Okay, so this is what a basic idea about a respiration. And now we are going to discuss the same thing in detail. Okay, so how is the food is breaking down to get energy? What is that chemical reaction? We will study that, and later we will study, how is the oxygen entering from the nostril? How is it going to windpipe? How is it going to lungs? From lungs to blood, how is it going? Again, in the same way, carbon dioxide from blood to lungs it will come, lungs to windpipe, windpipe outside. So this exchange process also we will discuss in detail. Okay, so first and foremost, what are we going to discuss? We are going to discuss about this part. This part of the chapter is very, very important. Actually, that itself is called as respiration. Okay, for respiration to occur, we want oxygen. And after the respiration reaction, carbon dioxide is the byproduct. So oxygen should enter, carbon dioxide should come out. It happens in a particular mechanism. Certain organs are involved in it, right? That itself we call it as breathing. That also we will discuss. Okay, fine. And this process, this is what we actually call it as cellular respiration. Cellular respiration. Why do we call it as cellular respiration is because this particular reaction happens within a cell. Okay, we have so many cells. Within a cell, respiration, that is this particular chemical reaction occurs. So this is called cellular respiration. Okay, so if you want, you can note it down. Cellular respiration means respiration reaction happening inside a cell. Inside a cell. That's why it is called cellular respiration. We have two types of respirations actually. There are two types of respiration. Now, by this time you must able to understand what is respiration. Respiration means only this. Okay, so this particular reaction can undergo in two ways. That's why we say there are two types of respiration. First one is aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration, very important. Okay, and the second type is anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration. Okay, so what do you mean by aerobic respiration? Respiration. What do you mean by respiration? Breakdown of glucose. Breakdown of glucose. Okay, this breakdown of glucose, that is respiration. If this happens in presence of oxygen, okay, respiration in presence of oxygen. Okay, if this breakdown takes place in presence of oxygen, then such a respiration is called as aerobic respiration. So this kind of respiration is found in humans or any other animals. Okay, so we respire, our food, that is glucose, will only break down in presence of oxygen only. Okay, if there is no oxygen, food cannot undergo, that chemical process, breaking process to give energy. So this is what we call aerobic respiration. And there are certain guys like yeast, okay, yeast, which is a variety of fungus. You know, those guys, when they undergo respiration, that is, when they have to get energy from a food, they don't need oxygen. Okay, the chemical reaction takes place without even oxygen. So such a type of respiration is called anaerobic respiration. So what is the definition you will write? Respiration in absence of oxygen. Okay, say one thing you have to fix it in your mind is respiration, meaning you should be very, very clear in understanding. Respiration means not only taking oxygen and giving carbon dioxide. No, respiration means breakdown of glucose to get energy. This is respiration. For this, exchange of gases is necessary. Okay, that's the reason we study. But actually respiration means breakdown of food. Okay, so two types of respiration, aerobic, anaerobic. Aerobic means respiration in presence of oxygen. Anaerobic is respiration in the absence of oxygen. Now let us discuss one by one in detail. Let us go for aerobic respiration. So aerobic respiration, as I already told you, it is the breakdown of glucose in presence of oxygen. Okay, why? To get energy. That's what the definition you have in front of you. And now, where is this glucose present? Inside a cell. Who carried this glucose? Blood carried. From where? From small intestine, isn't it? So all this process you all know. Now, in a cell, in the human cells, wherever glucose is there, what blood has brought the glucose, that glucose will break down into 3-carbon compound. Okay, that means glucose has how many carbons? Can you be able to tell me? C6H12O6, right? So this is our formula for glucose. How many carbons does it has? 6 carbons. Yes, 6 carbons are linked like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this 6-carbon compound, glucose is a 6-carbon compound. Okay, this 6-carbon compound will break into 3-carbon compound called pyruvate. 3-carbon compound called pyruvate means 6 carbons compound will exactly break down at the center. Okay, so you will get pyruvate. One glucose molecule can give 2 pyruvate molecules. Anyway, that balancing thing and all is not necessary here. Okay, so just try to remember in the first step inside a cell. Okay, cell has so many organelles. It has mitochondria, yes or no? So many things are there. But actually, this particular reaction is happening inside a cytoplasm. Inside a cytoplasm. I think you all have an idea about the structure of a cell that you studied in class 9 and in your previous classes, isn't it? So if this is a cell, it will have a nucleus and it will have certain guys called mitochondria, and this area of the cell, you know, this is called cytoplasm. Okay, so blood will bring the glucose and it will shift the glucose to cytoplasm area. Okay, now the glucose is there in cytoplasm area of a cell. So this process happens inside the cytoplasm. Okay, not in any of the organelle like mitochondria or nucleus. You know, glucose has come to a cytoplasm area from blood. So in that cytoplasm area, our 6-carbon compound is breaking down to 3-carbon compound. Okay, remember pyruvate is 3-carbon compound. This is important to remember. Okay, pyruvate is 3-carbon compound. And in the first step itself, you know, some amount of energy would be liberated. Okay, so this is the first step of breaking glucose. In the first step itself, some amount of energy is liberated, and that liberated energy itself, we call it as ATPs. Okay, we don't call it as energy actually. You know, a chemical substance, adenosine triphosphate. About this, you will study it in higher classes. Not necessary now. Actually, you no need to remember the word ATP only. Just if you call it as energy, that is more than enough. Actually, that energy will be restored. It will be stored in a chemical compound. That chemical compound is ATP. Okay, so adenosine triphosphate. Yes. So instead of energy, I can say ATP, or ATP if I mention, it means that it is energy only. Fine. So this is our first step of breaking glucose. And this step is actually called as glycolysis. You know, it is not necessary, just extra information I am giving you. So whatever the reaction that is taking place in cytoplasm is called glycolysis. You are breaking. Lysis means what? Breaking. What you are breaking? Glucose. So it is glycolysis. Fine. Next step. And now this pyruvate is there, no? Pyruvate enters to mitochondria of the cell. Okay. Pyruvate has formed in the cytoplasm. From cytoplasm, it will go to the mitochondria. So their second step of breakage takes place. So step number 2, pyruvate moves to mitochondria of cell. Okay. So inside a mitochondria, pyruvate has how many carbons? How many carbon containing compound it is? It is a 3 carbon compound. Okay. 3 carbon compound. Just if you want to know the structure of pyruvate, I will draw here. It is actually CH3 COO minus. This is called pyruvate. See how many carbons? 1, 2, 3. Acidic group is there, ketone group is there, CH3. Since you know little bit of organic chemistry, I gave this structure. Anyway, structure is not necessary to remember. This is pyruvate. Okay. So this 3 carbon compound again undergoes breakage. Okay. So it will break into carbon dioxide, water, and lots of energy is produced in this step. Okay. So here many ATPs are formed. In the second step, many ATPs are formed. In the sense, large amount of energy is produced in the mitochondria of the cell. What has happened in the mitochondria of a cell? Pyruvate, that is 3 carbon compound, again broke down, and it has converted into carbon dioxide. All carbon thing is converted into carbon dioxide. Hydrogen is there? No. It's an organic compound. Definitely hydrogens are there. Hydrogen part is converted into water. Right? And when this process occurs, large amount of energy is released. You know, this is what we call aerobic respiration. See, how did you get energy? 2 steps of breakage occurs for glucose, right? First step, the glucose that has come from a blood. In the cytoplasm, what happens? The 6 carbon compound undergoes a breakage. You get a 3 carbon compound, which we call it as pyruvate. Now this pyruvate enters to mitochondria of a cell. Okay. Do you remember in the smaller classes we studied that mitochondria is called powerhouse of a cell. Why do we call it as powerhouse? Because lots of energy is stored in the mitochondria. In mitochondria, large amount of energy is actually produced. That is the reason it is called powerhouse of the cell. Okay. So pyruvate is moving to mitochondria. So again pyruvate is breaking down into carbon dioxide, water and energy. And you see here in the second step you are getting large energy, and in the first step also you got energy. And what is the byproduct? Carbon dioxide is the byproduct. We don't want carbon dioxide in a cell. We don't want carbon dioxide inside our body. So what will this carbon dioxide do? It has produced in the mitochondria, no? It will come to cytoplasm. From cytoplasm it will go to blood. Blood will take this carbon dioxide to lungs. From lungs it will come to windpipe. Okay. From windpipe, from the nose it is coming outside. Okay. And you know, this pyruvate actually undergoes breakage, as well as glucose also undergoes breakage in presence of oxygen. Okay. So oxygen is necessary for both steps actually. Oxygen is necessary for both steps. Without oxygen, this breakage doesn't take place. So that's the reason we take oxygen. How is oxygen is taken up? Ulta process. From nose to nostril, nostril to lungs, lungs to blood, blood is giving to cytoplasm. Okay. So in the reaction where it is happening in the cytoplasm, for that step also you require oxygen, and the reaction that is happening in the mitochondria also requires oxygen. Okay. So Oxygen is the essential component for respiration, and byproduct carbon dioxide, which is not essential for the body, is coming outside. This is all about aerobic respiration. And now we will go for anaerobic respiration. Coming to anaerobic respiration, as I already told you, what is anaerobic respiration? Breakdown of glucose in absence of oxygen to get energy. Okay, so mainly anaerobic respiration takes place in fungi called yeast. So what do you mean by yeast? We will get it in bakeries. Yeast is used for making cakes. Yes or no? Whenever you add yeast, you actually get a fluffy cake. So why do you get that fluffy cake? That also you can able to see. When you look at the reaction, you can able to understand. Fine. What happens is, yes, here also the same thing. From blood, the glucose will come to various parts of parts of a body. Okay, various parts has a cell. So particularly glucose enters into various cells of the body. And glucose, we all know, 6 carbon compound, C6H12O6. So it is a 6 carbon compound. Okay, and this 6 carbon compound initially here also breaks down into pyruvate itself. So pyruvate is 3 carbon compound. Okay, 3 carbon compound. And this pyruvate, what happens is in cytoplasm. Okay, this process also happens in cytoplasm. First step happens in cytoplasm. Second step also happens in cytoplasm only. Okay, so here there is no concept like pyruvate moving into mitochondria. No. Okay, it can happen in cytoplasm itself. What happens? This pyruvate will break down into 2 carbon compound, that is C2H5OH. Can you able to name this organic compound? Ethanol, alcohol, isn't it? So pyruvate will break down into ethanol plus carbon dioxide plus energy. Okay, so this is how you get energy from glucose. Yes, what is happening? 6 carbon compound is initially breaking down into 3 carbon. This step is common for both aerobic and anaerobic, but in aerobic, even this step takes place in presence of oxygen. Okay, and here it can happen without oxygen also. But the main use of oxygen in aerobic is for second step, that is pyruvate is getting converted into carbon dioxide, water and energy. No? For that oxygen is compulsorily required. Oxygen may not be necessary for this step actually. Okay, so that's the reason this step can happen without oxygen also. And pyruvate, when oxygen is not there, if oxygen was there, this guy would have directly converted into carbon dioxide, water. Okay, and here oxygen is not there, so it goes in a different mechanism, it goes in a different route of reaction, and the product that you get out of it is ethanol. Okay, alcohol along with that carbon dioxide and energy. Okay, so this is what we call anaerobic respiration, that you will see it in yeast. Okay, and you see here lots of carbon dioxide would be coming out. Okay, since the carbon dioxide is coming out, it can be used in bakeries to get fluffy cakes. Say they will add yeast in a batter, they will keep it in an oven. You know, the reaction might happen, yeast will give carbon dioxide. No, the gas, it wants to come outside, so it will come outside making so many holes, air filled holes. That itself will give the softness and fluffiness to the cake. Okay, so that's why it is used in bakeries. Fine. And anaerobic respiration can also occur in humans, but in not all parts of a body. It will happen only in the muscle cells, only during certain time. Okay, so now we are going to discuss anaerobic respiration in muscle cells, muscle cells of humans. Okay, during excessive exercise. So when we exercise, when the exercise is beyond the limit, what happens is muscle cells cannot get oxygen that easily. That point of time, the glucose will break down. Since oxygen is not there, pyruvate will not break down into carbon dioxide and water. Pyruvate will break down into lactic acid. Okay, so observe the step here. So glucose, whichever is there in cytoplasm, initially it will get converted into pyruvate. Okay, glucose is a 6 carbon compound, is getting converted into 3 carbon compound, same step. But here, since this guy is not getting oxygen, and with the help of many chemicals present in the muscle cells, this is getting converted into lactic acid. Lactic acid plus energy you will get. Okay, and if oxygen was there, what is the products you will get? Carbon dioxide, water and energy, isn't it? And carbon dioxide is a gas, easily it comes out of the cell, it will go to the blood, and from blood it is coming out. Okay, from blood it is going to the lungs, from lungs it is coming out, no problem. Okay, and this is a solid substance, it's not a gas. Lactic acid is some organic substance. So what happens? This lactic acid will struck in the muscle. Okay, so that's the reason. Later it will take time. Later lactic acid slowly dissolves into the blood, but that takes a time. If it was a gas, easily, quickly it can get dissolved in the blood. But this is a solid, no, that much easily it will not go to the blood. Slowly it will go. It will take time. Okay, and by then what this guy will do, it will get stuck in the muscle cells. Okay, it will get stuck. So that's the reason you feel more pain when you do excessive exercise. So when you do the exercise excessively, oxygen supply will be stopped to the muscle cells. When oxygen supply is stopped, whatever glucose is there in a muscle cell, initially it will get converted into pyruvate, but pyruvate later, since oxygen is not there, this guy would have converted into lactic acid, and that's how you will get energy. Okay, and this lactic acid is very difficult to move. It's a solid, it cannot move that easily and gets dissolved in the blood. So it will get stuck there. So because of this guy, you feel that pain. So this is what anaerobic respiration, sometimes, not every time, only during excessive exercise. Okay, so only then anaerobic respiration can be found in human muscle cells. Remember, not in all cells, only in the muscle cells. Okay, so these are the different pathways of breaking down of glucose you have to remember. Okay, so aerobic respiration, in all animals it will happen. How the steps? Anaerobic respiration, 2 ways it can happen. The first way is like in the yeast, glucose to pyruvate, pyruvate to ethanol. And in the second way, glucose to pyruvate, pyruvate to lactic acid. Where does this happen? Muscle cells. Where does this happen? Yeast. In every case, you get energy. That's common because that is the main intention of this respiration. Is it clear? And now just I'll give you one flow chart. You can easily remember that various pathways. There are 3 pathways, isn't it? 2 anaerobic respiration pathway and 1 aerobic respiration pathway with glucose. So all the 3 pathways at a stretch I will give it in the flow chart so that you can remember it easily. So let us see all the 3 pathways at a stretch. Okay, how a glucose can break down to give energy. So initially I took a glucose 6 carbon compound, whatever may be the pathway, whatever may be the organism, it may be a yeast or animal or human, whatever. Okay, the first step is common. What is that? Glucose will get converted into pyruvate. Okay, and how many carbons does it contain? 3 carbon. It's a 3 carbon compound. And where does this happen? Cytoplasm. Cytoplasm of the cell. Okay, so this much you have to remember. This step is common. Fine. And now from here, if it is an aerobic respiration in presence of oxygen, pyruvate in presence of oxygen, it will get converted into carbon dioxide, water and energy. Isn't it? Yes. So where do you find this pathway? Where do you find this pathway? You will find it in humans. And this is what we will call aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration. Okay. And where do you find? You will find it in animals, especially humans. Humans. Okay. Say, can I give one general reaction for aerobic respiration of humans? Say here C6H12O6. okay, can react in presence of oxygen, reaction takes place, right? After reacting, what is the byproduct you are getting? Carbon dioxide, water plus energy. You know, this is the equation for respiration. This is the, you had an equation for photosynthesis, isn't it? In a similar way, this is the equation for, you know, respiration. You know, respiration can also happen in plants. If respiration happens in a plants, in a similar way it happens. Okay, you will find aerobic respiration only. Some plants do give carbon dioxide, definitely. Carbon dioxide will be given out, not only oxygen, carbon dioxide also gives out by plant. Why? Because of respiration they undergo. Okay, fine. And this is the equation for aerobic respiration. Fine. First pathway. Second pathway. Pyruvate gets converted into lactic acid, yes, and energy. So where do you find this pathway? Glucose to pyruvate, pyruvate to lactic acid and energy. This pathway is found in muscle cells of human. Muscle cells of human. Okay, fine. And what is another pathway here? What is another pathway? Glucose to pyruvate, pyruvate to alcohol. Alcohol. Okay, what type of alcohol? Ethyl alcohol. Ethyl alcohol, or you will also call it as ethanol, isn't it? Fine. Plus carbon dioxide plus energy. Okay, so where do you find this pathway? Glucose to pyruvate, pyruvate to alcohol, carbon dioxide and energy. You will find this pathway in yeast. Okay, and both the pathways are happening without oxygen. So both the pathways I will classify in a name called anaerobic respiration. Okay, both belongs to anaerobic respiration. Fine. So if pathways of glucose is asked as a question, you know, you have to mention this. There are three pathways of breaking down of glucose. Okay, one is this pathway, the other one is glucose to pyruvate, pyruvate to lactic acid and energy, which you will see it in muscle cells. Both do not require any oxygen, so anaerobic respiration. Okay, and the third pathway, which is very much important, is glucose to pyruvate, pyruvate to carbon dioxide, water and energy. And this compulsory need oxygen, so it is aerobic respiration, which you will find it in plants and other animals like humans. Okay, so that's all about the respiration. So in my next video, we are going to discuss about exchange of gases. I said oxygen is very much essential. So how does this oxygen enter? From nose to nostril, nostril to windpipe, windpipe to lung, lung to blood, blood to cytoplasm of the cell, isn't it? And what is the byproduct? Carbon dioxide. It should come out. How does it come out? Cell to blood, blood to lungs, lungs to windpipe, windpipe to nostril, nostril from nose, outside it should come out. Okay, so this exchange of gases, many organs are involved. Nose is involved, nostrils are involved, a nasal cavity is involved, you know, windpipe. In other words, we call it as trachea. Trachea is involved, lung is involved, right? So how is this gases going in with the help of these organs and gas coming out with the help of these organs? Let us discuss in the next video. Till then, take care and keep revising the concept. If you like our video, please like, share and subscribe our channel for more videos.